This podcast will cover the external causes of morbidity, category V00 through Y99, and this corresponds to Chapter 20 in the code book. While external cause codes are most applicable to injuries, they are also valid for use with such things as infections due to an external source and health conditions, such as a heart attack that occurs during strenuous physical activity. The external cause code follows the patient as long as the patient is receiving treatment for the condition. The assignment of the seventh character for external cause codes should match the seventh character for the associated injury or condition. And here's an example where we see this. An orthopedic office follow-up, patients returning to have external fixation pins removed. X-rays indicate the ulna's healing. And we see the first code, the seventh character F, is a subsequent encounter. The next code, S55, the injury to the blood vessel, also a subsequent encounter. And W30.9XXD, contact with agricultural machinery, the seventh character D for subsequent encounter. Now you notice because it's a subsequent encounter, we are not seeing the place of occurrence or the activity external cause codes. They are only used for initial encounter. The guidelines tell us to use the full range of external cause codes, assigning as many as necessary to fully explain the cause of something. The cause, the intent, the place of encounter, the place of occurrence, the activity, and the status. External cause codes can never be the principal. They are being used to explain the cause or the why of the injury, which is that injury is usually a principal. Some combination external cause codes correspond to the sequence of events which cause the most serious injury. For example, a fall and the person hit their head after they fell, and that hitting the head after they fall is the most serious consequence. That would be captured in a combination code. No external cause code is needed if the external cause is included. For example, poisoning by penicillin. That is in your T36.0X1 code, so you do not need an external cause code. The place of occurrence is only reported during the initial encounter. There's no seventh characters for Y92, and you do not use Y92.9, which is unspecified, if the place is not stated. More reminders about the activity external cause code. It's only reported once, and that is during the initial encounter. Activity codes are not applicable to poisonings, adverse effects, misadventures, or sequela. You do not assign Y93.9 if the activity is not stated. It is appropriate to report activity codes if it provides additional information. When applicable, place of occurrence, activity, and external cause codes are sequenced after the main external cause codes. There are many guidelines in Chapter 20 to help the coder with sequencing, so I would encourage you, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you've got all these external cause codes, immediately go to your guidelines and look for some guidance there as to how to sequence those. Here's an example where the patient was hit during the hurricane. Debris fell on him. That gives you the fracture code. The P is a seventh character, is subsequent encounter for a closed fracture with malunion. We also are going to use the forces of nature, the hurricane, with the D as a seventh character and struck by object falling. The W20 code D for subsequent encounter. We do not code the place of occurrence. Sometimes the reporting format limits the number of external cause codes that a coder can assign, so you will report the external cause code that most related to the principal diagnosis. If the format permits you to code additional codes, you're going to capture any external cause codes before you're going to report place of occurrence, activity, or external status. This is a coding guideline, so again, if you ever find yourself with multiple external cause codes and you have limited format, go to your guidelines to see how to sequence those. There are also guidelines with respect to child and adult abuse, unknown or undetermined intent, the sequela of external cause, terrorism, and external cause status codes. Please go to your guidelines whenever you come up against any of those. This very short podcast did not cover all the guidelines for Chapter 20. Please look at those in the front of the Chapter 20 in the code book. Read through those guidelines. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much.